This is the Hammerhead light machine gun. And just in case you didn't notice, it's got a pretty big magazine. Okay, so a lot of people have been slaving over the Volander Forge as of late, trying to get their first weapon frame. And for those of you who aren't exactly sure what you'll get from that first Black Armory drop, well, this is your chance to see it in action before you finally get your hands on it. Just so everyone is aware, I will be reviewing every Forge weapon that I come across. However, a lot of these are reskins of previous legendary weapons from year 1, so expect to see some familiar weapons on this channel in the near future. For starters, you need to keep in mind that all of the traits for Black Armory weapons, much like Forsaken legendary weapons and armor, roll at random. Given the fact that this LMG utilizes an adaptive frame, however, it's unlikely that you will see any major stat variations. Unfortunately, there are no public weapon stats for this gun just yet, so I had to compare it side by side with the Thunderlord to get a general idea. Luckily, the two weapons are incredibly similar in terms of general stats at first glance. We're looking at a 41 in impact, between 68 and 75 in range, a stability between 60 and 64, and a handling of 50 to 55, all depending on barrel choice. Its inventory size is not yet known, though depending on your gear, its max carry capacity can be pushed higher than the standard 236 rounds. This is a 450 RPM LMG, and its reload speed is identical to the Thunderlord. Again, depending on the traits that it drops with. As I stated earlier, its inventory size is still unknown, but it utilizes a zoom of 15, an aim assist of 90, and a recoil compensation of 60. To be frank, I am slightly disappointed by this gun. Not because it doesn't perform, in fact, it's a wonderful weapon. What kills me is that it is so very similar to the only other LMG in the game at this current moment in time. By the time this video goes live, I'll have had this gun for nearly a week, and another LMG will be added into the game, and one would hope that this next one will handle just a bit differently, maybe. I find myself comparing this weapon to Thunderlord constantly. If I had to choose, however, I would grab Hammerhead over Thunder any day, mostly because of its stability. Thunderlord does call down arc lightning strikes, which is incredibly handy for AoE damage, but the longer it's fired, the more unstable it becomes, making precision shots slightly difficult, especially when you take into account the size of the target's critical point. Hammerhead does not feature a feeding frenzy like Thunderlord does, but again, this is to balance out the damage to RPM ratio. As I stated earlier, if I had to choose between fire rate and stability, I would take stability every single time. Now, my Hammerhead specifically dropped with Threat Detector, which is great for crowd control when a magazine runs dry because it stacks on itself based on the number of targets around you. And to put the cherry on top, it also came with Rampage, which can be crucial, as Rampage is a perk that not only stacks on itself, but it carries the stacks from weapon to weapon, provided the following weapon that is equipped also carries the same trait. That is a very large help in many different situations, specifically raiding and other PvE environments. Anything with large ad pools, whether yours drops with Rampage or not, can be handled effectively by the Hammerhead LMG. This weapon can also be incredibly effective for any Devour Warlocks, simply because of the damage output. If done properly, this could feed Devour over and over, thus keeping your ability energy off cooldown for extended periods of time. Or you could combine it with the Chromatic Fire chest piece, and then you'll be generating a lot more elemental void explosions than you'd think, because this gun hits hard. I don't have enough footage to make an accurate claim as of yet, but upon spending a decent amount of time in the Crucible with Hammerhead equipped, I'd like to think that depending on the playstyle of the user, this weapon can also be a huge asset in the PvP arenas. I'm sure that there will be a nerf headed this way soon enough, but 2 or 3 body shots and your target is either already dead or about to be dead. And I'll be doing some stat experimentation in the very near future, so stay tuned for that as well. As I said, slightly disappointed, yet super excited to see what this gun is capable of and what it can counter in PvP, because nothing is more exciting than trying out a brand new gun. As I said earlier, I would have to choose Hammerhead over Thunderlord in a pinch. However, if your opinion is different, feel free to let me know in the comments, and if you feel the need to subscribe, do so by all means, but just keep this in mind, your viewership is far more than enough for good old Jay. I do hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully seeing this gun in action motivated you to grind your level up so you can go out and get your own. These forges are not easy by any means, but if you have a good fire team and your numbers are high enough, you'll have your first Black Armory drop in no time. Also, if you play on PC, the link to my new Discord server is indeed in the description of this video, and my battle tag is Jayboy11250. This has been another episode of Gear Talks, and hopefully, I will see you in the next one. Until then, Jayboy out.